Okay, good morning, everybody. The chair will call this meeting of the county commission to order this Thursday, March 26, 2026. First item on the agenda this morning is to approve the minutes of March 12th. We got a motion to approve. Motion to approve by Commissioner Levitt, second. Commissioner Feliciano. Is there any changes or amendments to the minutes? Okay, all those in favor of adoption, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the vote is unanimous. Item 2 is to discuss Strafford County's Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement and for Excellence in Financial Reporting Award. Now, this is, first of all, we want to congratulate Diane and people of the office for receiving this award again.
This is 10 or 11.
12.
12 times she's received the award, the department's received the award. It's a great reflection on the work that her and her department have done regarding the county's financial reporting. It proves that we're an open operation. We try to answer people's questions up front. We don't have, it's an open book. Diane, you've done such a fabulous job in the last 12 years. It's just been remarkable. It's nothing short of remarkable, let's put it that way.
Congratulations, Diane.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I wish Jill and Sharon were here.
I know.
Sharon took the day off and Jill's had a meeting, a health trust meeting. She'll be back
Right.
later, but they deserve a lot of credit. And I mean, we have a good team here. We have a great team and
Yeah,
You guys-
it's amazing.
you've always supported us with everything. So, yeah, I mean, from top down, it's not one person. It's a
team
it's a
effort.
good group.
It's a
Yeah.
team effort, but you know, the bottom line is they're led by you and Mr. Bauer and
And are you aware of any other counties who received this award?
Not in New Hampshire.
Not in New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Wow, great job.
yeah, fabulous. And I hope that anybody who tunes in on our meeting would take a moment and just thank Diane if you ever see her out in the grocery store.
Which I feel like I'm there a lot.
For the work you've done, Diane, it's absolutely fabulous. I just can't throw enough accolades your way. I've appreciated your work and your counsel over many years, and it needs to be noticed and recognized. And I'm glad you've got this national award. It's a testament to how you've kept the rate high and the commission out of trouble. You know, so.
Amazing.
I mean, that is amazing. Okay, item 3 and 4, actually, I'm gonna combine them. This is to announce, we have applied to Senator Shaheen's office for federal assistance for 2 projects. Number 1, for the warming center, which would have a direct impact on county property taxpayers. As we all know, the 3 cities are contributing right now to fund that center. The county was able, through Senator Shaheen's office, to hopefully get an earmark for that project, which would have a direct effect on local property taxpayers. And we're certainly appreciative of we have the opportunity to apply for that the earmark. Whether we get it or not, it still remains to be seen. But we've applied for that. We've also applied for a little over $600,000 for the replacement of the windows at Riverside Rest Home. I think it's apparent that it's going to be a while before we get a new rest home, and we really need to do something about the facility, especially the windows. They're a minimum of 50 years old. Administrator Bauer, during these cold spells in this past winter, we've had a lot of cold weather. It's been a typical New England winter this year. It's been cold. And Administrator Bauer had thermostats and ray guns, infrared ray gun temperature controls he used to determine the temperature in residence rooms. And even with both boilers at full capacity, we were only able to keep the building in the rooms at 65 degrees. And the windows themselves were 30 degrees in inner pane windows. The windows need to be replaced, so we're asking Senator Shaheen for an earmark of well over $600,000 to replace all the windows in Riverside. We also are going to be moving forward at some point. It's not on the agenda, but it will be shortly. Asking for some more federal grants that we're hearing that are coming down through the pipeline for some additional improvements to the existing building. We'll probably be talking about those in another week or two. Specifically the boilers and the roof, because we got to spend some money on that building. And so,
Does that include labor?
yes, yeah. So hopefully that the senator can give us a hand. It's a competitive process. She'll probably have 150 projects. All of the projects that I've seen so far on the list, I don't think any of them would score as high as ours in terms of impact to property taxpayers. I haven't seen the complete list, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but hopefully this is the senator's home county. She's retiring, and she'd be doing herself a favor as well by reducing the property taxpayers load here in the county. So we'll see how that works out. So any questions from my colleagues? Ray, you have any further comment?
No, the only comment is, the additional item particularly is, we've developed a leak in one of the two front buildings, C buildings, boiler. They're what's commonly called alternating boilers. One will come on and the second one will come on to relieve it, so that there's not one boiler that gets all the work. And when it's really cold, they both run together. So we feel we've got a little bit of time to see how the distribution of this money and the rural
health grant.
the rural health grant money, which we can't apply for yet because the application's not open, but we're prepared to apply for all of this all over again. With the $200 million in rural health money that appears to be available. And I know we've already, even though there's no applications available, we've already sent all of that information to Councilman Kenny, who's offered to help us with this project. I received a call from him on his way to Concord when the governor and council were looking to approve the big ticket distribution of the money, not any specific thing. And we forwarded to him these two items, and we added the boilers. The boilers weren't a specific issue at the time of the closing of the congressionally directed spending money. It closed before the boiler became an issue. It's just a matter of timing. But the likelihood of getting us all three items with the congressional spending is pretty much nil. So we're not taking anything for granted. We're going to apply for these two items. The nice part is the application's done in effect. The information, I mean, we need to change the cover sheet, that kind of stuff, but the primary justification writing and costs and everything already are all done for these two projects. We're working on it's a little hard to work on when you don't have a blank application, you don't know exactly what they want. So, but we're putting together the same type of information that we put together for these two grants.
Yeah, for the boiler and the roof.
For the boilers. We just haven't, it's gonna be a month according to the Association of Counties before the applications become available. So we have a little time to pull this together. And then I'm sure once the applications become available, they'll give you another month or 6 weeks to fill them out. So we are working on, we've gotten prices already. I guess sometimes that can be the hardest part. And certainly the justification is similar justification to the windows. you know, we can use a lot of
Sure.
that same information.
Well, hopefully. A combination of these things will prevent us from. Having to spend local property taxpayers' money on these projects, so it's good news if we can just, if we're successful in getting the grant, as you know. So, any further comments regarding the grant applications? No? Upcoming events, we have a Don't Trash Litter collecting walk starting here at the courthouse on March 28th. Is that's being coordinated by the group in Dover, I think, if I remember
Yes,
correctly,
yeah.
right?
We have offered,
Community help.
no, with that, and we've offered to, if they just wanna leave the bags
Yeah,
that they collected, we've offered to pick them up, you know, with our community work program.
yeah,
So we're trying to, that wasn't part of their plan. I just thought we'd supplement, you know, in appreciation for what they're doing.
sure.
And so we offered to pick them up, whether, you know, we can do that with community work.
And come down and start on Cocheco Street, there's a lot of trash down there. I was kidding, I'm picking up myself. Okay, we have any old or new business to discuss? Gentlemen, no? Okay, questions or comments from the public related to the agenda?
Can we go off agenda?
What's that?
Can we go off agenda for a minute?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So I think the last time I saw you was at the delegation meeting and unfortunately the budget went down in flames.
Hmm.
And so how do you intend to address that? Does it go to a default budget? And there was also a little piece attached to that with regard to ICE. And have you discussed that and what are your plans?
Well, I can't discuss plans publicly, in terms of ICE. I can tell you that we have a 3-year contract with them. We're in the first year of that contract. We have 2 more years to go. And I've reached out to the regional director from New England to discuss some of the details of their operation, but I'm not at liberty to discuss them in public at the present time.
We can't default on the contract anyhow.
No, we can't. That's
Yeah, but we might be able to ask them for some
Or ask them.
consideration.
for some other consideration. We'll see how that all goes. There's a lot of changes being made, as you know, a lot of ICE people have been moved to TSA positions. It's not like they have a ton of staff. So if they move ICE and they're not concentrating on what they're supposed to be doing, but they move them to the airports, they might be dealing with people trying to come in through the airports illegally, as an example. There's just a lot of stuff going on all at once.
Does it, do you think it will affect our revenues?
I think it already has.
Yeah, it's already started to.
It's already started.
Yeah, it's already started to affect the revenue, which is not good news.
I know, and so that leads me to the question of, because the budget didn't pass, does it automatically default?
It automatically by state statute defaults to the county commissioners, whatever the proposed budget would be for the county commissioners.
To the default?
yeah.
You were unclear about that night when I asked.
Right, but that's the statute.
Well, we weren't prepared.
We weren't prepared.
We didn't expect that.
We didn't prepare. That's the first time.
Your faces were very telling.
Well, it's the first time that's ever happened in the history of the county. Where the county delegation didn't.
Plus the delegation in its 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meetings, you know, 4 subcommittee
Right.
meetings and 1 executive committee meeting, all voted in favor of the
Favor of the
budget. And not a close vote. And there was never the only motion to change the budget was to add money to it.
Exactly.
You know, so we had no basis to believe what was gonna happen happened. And we weren't clued in. I mean,
Yeah.
there was no clue, we weren't clued in. You know, we were
Well-
surprised.
Yeah.
So,
We didn't know. There was a resolution offered by Representative Howard that was just a resolution, and we thought I'd say, okay, they're gonna pass a resolution. And they vote for the budget, but that's not what they did. They didn't accept the resolution, they just voted the budget down. You know, our forefathers are pretty smart. They wrote a circuit breaker in the system for this thing to happen, this type of thing to happen when the delegation could not agree. And if you know, I don't think it's, I think to characterize what took place. I think it's pretty accurate. The Democrats don't like ICE and the Republicans are upset about the deficit of Riverside. So between the two of them, we got no budget to work with. And, I just think that that's the facts. That's what they argued.
But could I just say, just one thing to clarify this? The deficit at Riverside is not just a deficit at
Right.
Riverside. It
Right,
also includes Hyder.
right.
And so the problem is, we were never given the opportunity to say that.
To talk about, that's right. They didn't give us the opportunity.
You know, if I'd love to have had the opportunity to address that, because, you know, the delegation is the one that. Well, I wouldn't say forced us, because that's not accurate, but they voted unanimously for us to operate Hyder. You know,
Right.
knowing there was gonna be a deficit,
Yep.
that's why the three entities, two for-profit, one not-for-profit, quit Hyder.
Right, because they lost so much money.
Because they lost money, and so, you know, they're, in one delegation's, I realize this in the past, told us to operate Hyder, don't let it go. And then a new delegation is telling us, we're losing all this money,
Right.
but it's a combined thing between Hyder and Riverside, and that was never.
It's no different than the ICE contract. We spent almost $800,000, $1 million to make sure that we could take low custody offenders, because we were losing money with ICE back.
Yeah, that's right.
Back, yeah.
And the delegation voted unanimously for us to split C unit,
C
spend
unit.
$800,000 so we could take low custody offenders. And now.
Now they're saying they don't want us to take a look at it. So, you know, it.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Okay, whatever, yeah, so, you know, I get it, but we just spent the 800 grand. So, you know, and we are in a 3-year contract, so,
Mhm.
but. I don't know, yeah, the bottom line is ICE reads newspapers too.
Thank you for pointing
Excuse
that
me?
out, Ray.
ICE reads newspapers too. Okay.
You know, they're reading there was a
They're reading
big
the
article in
big
the
article
Boston Globe and everything else.
Okay, and Foster's, and they read this stuff, and they were right in the middle of Merrimack, and the governor turned around and saying, no, we're not gonna do Merrimack. You know, okay, they're gonna go somewhere. These folks are gonna go somewhere, okay?
So now that you're operating on a default budget, I'm sure that you're having to make a lot of adjustments. Is there one department that's gonna get hit harder than another
Yeah,
department,
we
or you're
can't.
just gonna play it?
We're not quite ready
We're not
yet.
ready yet. We're not ready yet. We're still waiting to see what our expenditures are going. The pattern of expenditure we have.
First quarter closes this week, so
Yeah.
we're gonna see what the first quarter looks like.
Right,
And we have an executive meeting
May,
coming up.
Probably in May. Usually it's about 6 weeks, 5-6
5,
weeks
6
after
weeks,
the
yeah.
budget closes.
and we just got done, I suppose this is a piece of old business. The auditors were here last week, so we're waiting for a report on that too as well. So, and we got some things there's things in the works, you know, we just gotta get there.
Plus, we're still recovering from the surprise.
Yeah.
That happened weeks ago.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
2
well,
weeks. 3
Well,
weeks.
the sad part is that it affects people's lives at the end. So, in any event, hope that answers your question, Susan.
As best we can at this
Best we
point.
can.
Keep,
Keep asking.
I understand. I'm just gonna keep asking. I hope that you don't get frustrated with
No.
me for asking.
No, I don't mind you asking. It's fine.
And
You
if you
have- you
didn't
have-
mind, I
no.
would still ask.
Of course you would. And if there's anything I can make public, I would make it public right away. So. All right. Any other I'm sorry, we're on public comments. Any other public comments related to the agenda? Out here, Chair will make a motion to move into non-public session for purposes of discussing personnel and contract negotiations,
So moved. Okay,
which is never ending. So moved and seconded.
Added to your